is MacBook Pro.
Okay guys, you can go all over the internet and find everything you need to know about these Macs. There's hundreds of YouTube videos. This video is going to be a little bit different. I want to go into why we have had this event, especially when it's 30 minutes long, which is like the shortest Apple event I've ever come across, and who this event was really for. And to do that, let's take a step outside of the event and talk about what's been going on for the past year with Apple. There's recently been a huge shift in the chip market, especially with TSMC, who is Apple's chip provider. And in the past couple of weeks, Qualcomm has come out to say that their chips are way superior than Apple's. And I think a lot of us sort of knew this was going to happen. I especially did. Like, x86 architecture isn't really going so well, and I even think Intel is going to have to make a switch at some point to the ARM processors. And with stating all this, there's no wonder Apple can be a little bit scared, and that's probably why they've had this scary fast event, because they want to push his chips out as much as possible. And they can technically do that since they're not really with Intel anymore. They don't have to wait 1 or 2 years for Intel to bring out a new chip. They have the capacity to bring out new chips every 6 months to a year. Overall, you can say that Apple is scared and they want to actually get these chips out as fast as possible so they can either compete at the same level as Qualcomm or succeed past them. So now we kind of know what this event was basically for, but what are the M3 chips for? I mean, we've had the M2, that didn't really work so well. The M1, everyone's been saying from the very beginning, M1 series of chips, need I say more, have just been amazing. For 99% of people out there, there's a configuration for every single person. And now that we have the M3 chips on the market, things could change, and I think that change is going to come to that 1% that Apple has left behind to the very last, and that is gamers and 3D artists. These M3 chips have things like ray tracing and mesh shading, which is going to be a huge leap forward for 3D artists and gamers. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but Apple has definitely put an emphasis on the whole gaming thing for the past year or two. And I think the M3 chips in a whole, and showing its performance, having this advert that was quite CGI, quite animated in that sort of way, having all those elements on top of Halloween, you know, it being late at night to follow a lot of the game developers in China and other Asian countries, you know, it's obviously deliberately done. I don't think a lot of people are talking about this. And it's exciting. Like, if you look at the iPhone 15 Pro, like literally I think it was the day before the iPhone 15 Pro came out with its new headline game, Resident Evil, and everyone in the tech community was just saying like how amazing the FPS was on that game, and that it was running on the iPhone 15 Pro, and like Android users were like, oh yeah, well, we've had games for so long, and you know, we've got a large category of games. Yeah, that might be the case, but do you have console-like games? Like, Apple's the only one that's doing this at the moment, and you know, I think that's going to change very soon with Qualcomm coming into the mix. But from what we have seen from that A17 Pro chip in the iPhone 15, we've jumped from 8 frames per second to 30 frames per second from what they've showed on their keynote. And I can't imagine what we're going to see with these Macs. So all I'm saying now is, if you're looking to possibly game on Macs now, if you're a 3D artist, these M3 chips are for you. If you have an M2 or even an M1 chip, you might see some like slight, you know, performance gains, but at the same time, I think you know deep down your Mac is capable, and if not, then maybe you just need a higher configuration within the M1 or M2 family. I really don't think these M3 chips, for the price that they're asking, which they have indeed gone up in price, I just don't think it's worth it. I know that we've got a matte black MacBook Pro now, which looks, you know, you get 128 gigabytes of RAM in these Macs. Like, it's a laptop. What more could you want? It makes me more excited to see the power capabilities of the desktop line as well. And saying that, if you guys are in the market for a new laptop, comment down below. I would love to give you some advice on what Macs to get, what's a good option. Like, there's so many Macs on refurbished at the moment. Anyways guys, thanks very much for watching, and see you soon.